Remember the 3rd of November. It's not quite time for bonfires, but expect fireworks. It's match night 2 of the National Badminton League. University of Nottingham Badminton looking to start their campaign with a bang, taking on Milton Keynes Badminton, hoping to reignite their challenge following a 4-1 opening day defeat to the Surrey Smashers. The venue tonight is the stunning Albert Hall in Nottingham. I'm Dave Rogers, alongside me Neil Cottrell. Neil, we are close to the action tonight.
We are. It's a very intimate arena here. It's going to be a great experience for the players to play in a place such as this. Not your typical, as you said, to badminton tends to take place, but the crowd are very noisy already, and I'm sure we'll get even noisier as the action starts.
They certainly are filling up nicely here inside the arena. Our commentary position, actually, as you look at the screen, we are in line with the right tram lines, and we can almost reach out and touch the court, as can most of the spectators inside this arena. The players are about to make their way onto court. The order of play this evening is men's singles, followed by women's doubles, mixed doubles, women's singles, and then finally men's doubles. The players just making their way out onto the court now to a rapturous reception from the home crowd. And just listen to that as the clappers go up in the air, the players come down the steps. The home team, University of Nottingham, in the blue tracksuits. Apart from Kieran Merrilies, who's in his playing kit, he of course is playing in the first event of the evening, the men's singles.
MK Badminton. Please give it up for Peter Mills.
So Neil, while the players are being introduced, this is of course the debut performance for the University of Nottingham. But Milton Keynes, they're one game in already. It was a heavy defeat to Surrey Smashers, but do you think they'll benefit from having that NBL experience with all the rule changes?
Quite possibly, Dave. I mean, the Nottingham team is incredibly strong. It's going to be a very difficult challenge for them against for Milton Keynes against Nottingham. It's going to be really important they get off to a good start in the singles, and we'll see how they get on.
So let's talk about that opening singles match then. Kieran Merrilies for Nottingham taking on Alex Lane from Milton Keynes. They train together, but they've not played each other before, have they?
No, I think it's a bit unusual that they haven't come across each other in competition. Having said that, Alex is one of our younger players, and he's one of the up-and-coming stars of singles. So the guys who have played each other quite a lot during training, and I'm sure there'll maybe be a bit of banter during the match. I'm not too sure. We'll see how they get on as well.
So playing each other in training, obviously they'll know each other's games inside out, but how do they go about taking the things that they've learnt and actually putting them into the competitive environment?
Obviously that's the main part of playing games during the training. I think the major difference now though is the usual scoring system that they used to playing when they are training is up to 21, so it will depend on how they adapt to the 11-point game, the 9-point game, sorry, and see who deals with that the best.
Interesting, you say the 9-point game. I caught up with Kieran before this evening when we just arrived, and he said in training they've been playing up to 11, so perhaps we'll get the chance to catch up with him later to see what that was all about. More and more people coming inside. Still filling up here inside the Albert Hall. We'll hopefully have a capacity crowd, but even if we don't, as you mentioned earlier, the atmosphere absolutely fantastic. Even the officials are getting a warm welcome onto court. So if you are joining us for the first time here at the National Badminton League, a very, very warm welcome to you. Just a quick recap if you weren't aware of some of the rule changes that have come into place. We're playing best of 5 today instead of best of 3, and it's the first to 9 points as opposed to the traditional scoring system. If it's locked at 8-all, then the first to 9 will win. You don't have to win by 2 clear points. If we're locked at 2 games apiece, then the breaker is a race to 5. Alex Lane for Milton Keynes just making his way onto court. And that noise will tell you that Kieran Merrilees has just been introduced. Nottingham's kit, mostly green with a gold trim and black shorts. Milton Keynes, sort of purpley navy. I'm not sure how to describe that. I thought it was navy, but I'm not going to commit to that, Neil. With black sleeves, black shorts, and a little bit of pink piping on there too. The warm-up time has also been cut down, so these players will literally have 30 seconds after the toss to get warm, and then we will crack straight on.
The players would have been preparing themselves beforehand, before coming out onto court, so they've been doing their warm-up exercise, the normal routine that they would do typically during a competition, so that they can hit the ground running as soon as the match starts in a little while. I think Alex will fancy his chances in this, and I think he'll have a good shot at it. I would imagine that Kieran would be the favourite for the game, with a little bit more experience in terms of international play. But in the new scoring system, as we saw in the last match, then anything can happen. Good fast start. Whoever makes the fewer errors, be a bit more aggressive, can do well in this event.
Certainly can. Both of these players making their NBL debuts today. Lane's replaced Sam Parsons in the MK lineup. Parsons lost in 3 straight games against Carl Baxter on the opening night. So the coaches showed that they can be ruthless. If you don't perform in this results-driven game, then there are players that can come in.
They can, and I think it's almost a bit of a parallel game here. We've got a young player against a more experienced player, as it was with Sam Parsons against Carl Baxter. Obviously, in the first game, the experience told, and we'll see whether Kieran can make his experience tell over Alex today.
Well, what we do know about Alex Lane is he is very quick. And if what we've learnt so far in our limited time in the NBL, it's that speed is very, very important.
Very important, especially in men's singles these days, when the rally's becoming shorter and the sort of the power game is taking over.
Just a few final preparations and we'll get underway now. Just a few more of the rule changes. Each player will have 1 power play to take. You can only take 1 power play per game. The power play columns either side of the referee have a pink shuttlecock on them. Now, if you're serving, when you take the power play, then your point, well, it could be 2 points should you win. And we saw all kinds of...
Ready, please.
All kinds of people playing all kinds of different shots on the power play. It really does change it for that specific moment, Neil.
It does. It seemed like the pace of the rallies increased, and
Ladies
almost like trying to get the shuttle on the floor as quickly as possible. So we'll see if the same sort of patterns of play happen tonight.
Play.
Merrilees serve.
1
Shuttle
love.
goes out early. going to say was there was polite applause on the first one, but I'm so aware that we're so close to the action with regards to the commentary and the players here, and you need to be sure that you're not too good with your coaching tips tonight, Neil.
2-1.
Point run there by Merrilees, and he held his position in the court really well there, didn't he, Neil?
Yes, he's playing. The rallies are going quite flat at the moment, so it just increases the pace of the shuttle all the time, and there's very little time within the rally to recover. That rally would have taken quite a lot out of both players, I think. There, it was very hard and intense.
Out from lane, so a handy 4-1 lead here for Merrilees in the first. This time it's long from Merrilees, and another long and taxing rally.
It is, and if Alex can suck up some of these rallies and stay with him in the early stages of the game, he's going to build his confidence and fancy his chance in the first set.
But Merrilees puts the hammer down there. First time we've really seen a big smash finish.
Well, it's the first time there's been any sort of height on a lift to the back of the court, to be honest, and that may be the reason why Alex hasn't really done it, because as soon as he did it, then Kieran really punished it.
So 5-2 Merrilees leads. Make that 6-2. Dead silence while the shuttle's live as well.
Yeah, it's going to be very difficult for Alex now. Kieran's almost playing in a bit of a double style, lots of flat drives and pushes and trying to keep the shuttle really low. And that just means that Alex is just almost trying to maintain himself in the rally. When the lift comes, then Kieran's putting it away.
Change of tack this time with the drop.
Well, he looked as if he was going to play deep to the back of the court because all his other shots have gone there, and then he just held it and played the short shot at the last moment.
Seven, 3-7.
Into the net from lane, and that gives Merrilees the set point.
Because Kieran came in really, took the shuttle really high then and played with a lot of spin on his net shot, making it really difficult for Alex to control any sort of lift from there.
So Merrilees serves for the set. But rain breeds again into the net from Merrilees. 4-8.
Service over. 4-8.
Lane to serve, but it's a long way back now in this first set.
the last two rallies, Kira's gone for something a little bit special on that forehand side. So just a couple of errors has given Alex half a chance.
Well, Merrilees was looking to win it in style, but he's letting Lane back in here.
6-8.
Still set point, 6-8, Lane serving.
Lane did exactly the same to Merrilees then. He was really early at the net, lots of spin on the net shot, making Kieran's lift much harder to control.
And finishing with aplomb, all of a sudden it's game on here, 7-8. And a mistake from Alex Lane, and Kieran Merrilees takes the first set, 9-7, but Lane will take a lot of encouragement from his comeback there, Neil.
Again, his confidence will be growing now. He'll be used to the arena a little bit more and the speed of the shuttles and sort of the rallies really, and just sort of playing himself into the game. I think provided he can get a good start to the second set, he'll be in with a good chance of taking it.
Early on, it seemed as though Kieran was moving Alex around the court very well, but
15 seconds.
he took his foot off the gas a little bit, trying to finish it in style, as we said, and Alex nearly came back.
Yeah, he did, and I think whoever can control the net in this next set will pay sort of big dividends for them. I think the rallies that both guys have won during the first set, the early play at the net and nice tight net shots, good spin, making it quite difficult. I mean, the ceiling is relatively low in here, and I don't know whether that's influencing the way that they're playing, because everything's going a little bit flatter than you would expect in singles. But
so 9-7 in the first, Kieran Merrilees leads. And he'll serve with his back to us in the second.
One love.
Oh, nicely disguised there from Merrilees to level things early in the second.
well, it's a great shot to win the rally, but again, it was made by that spinning net shot that he played just one shot previously, and it just really made Alex play a short lift.
Just wide there. But going back to the previous point, Neil, you say the spinning net shot. I mean, the person who's watching at home will spot the smash and they'll say that's what won the point. But with regards to the net shot that he plays, as he got in his mind after he's played that shot, right, the next lift is going to go here and this is my chance.
Yeah, so much in badminton, whether it's singles or doubles, is about control of the net. In singles, obviously, there's much bigger distances for people to travel. So if play around the net is tight, it just means that anything that's lifted to the back becomes a little bit more difficult. If it's short, then you get the chance for the smash, as Kieran just finished the rally then.
Big right hand there from Merrilees to make it 2-3. Misjudgment there from Merrilees, left it as though he thought it was going out, but it's crept in and Lane leads 4-2 in the second.
Yeah, and he's doing a little bit more than just hang on here. He's starting to play himself into this match and controlling a bit more of the pace of the rallies and what's happening.
Strong finish there from Merrilees though.
And Kieran is a very positive player. you know, most of the shots that he plays, he's actually playing for a purpose, and you can see what he's trying to do, trying to outmaneuver Alex to get an easy lift. I must admit, I thought that was going to go wide then, so I'm not sure how that's landed in.
That was right in front of us as well. Quite literally a couple of feet away, but another. That's 2 points now that Merrilees has left, and he trails by 2, 5-3 here in the second. And that one's out too, so 6-3 here, a nice lead.
Yeah, good work from the linesman then. He sort of delayed his call just to add a little bit of drama to the situation.
Well, Merrilees won the point there at the net in the end, but it was a fantastic pickup down in this corner.
Yeah, some great shots in that rally, and Alex was just trying the deceptive net shot, trying to make it look as if he was going to lift to the back. But Merrilees didn't fall for it, got the kill.
A little bit of afters with the referee, sorry, the umpire there as well.
Well, I think Alex was saying that Kieran hit the net when he played the shot, but the umpire's in a good position there to see whether he did or not, and Kieran got the point.
Well, Lane still leads 6-4, but trails 1-0. Merrilees to serve here. He's left another one. That's 3 points now, and he trails by 3. Surely you can't afford to be doing that in a 1st-to-9 encounter.
No, it's unusual, especially along the sidelines. I mean, sometimes it's you know, in halls where there's a bit of a drift, it's hard to judge the back line, but
he comes back with aplomb to win the point. Hammers it down the sideline, 5-7.
so much more impressive when he attacks a little bit more, and he's looking for those opportunities as much as possible.
I think there might have been a bit of spite in that one as well, following his errors in this set.
And again, you see when he's really positive and he's attacking the shot, then he certainly wins more points than he loses.
6-7. Timeout claimed, Milton Keynes.
Well, the timeout's been called by Milton Keynes. There's a new system here, especially for the NBL. Each player gets 1 timeout per event, the event being the match that they're playing, in this case the men's singles. So the coach has 45 seconds to try and turn things around.
Unusual call from Alex though. He's a 1 point up, a couple of points away from taking the second set. So it seems a strange decision to bring the coach on now.
Yeah, perhaps he sensed a change in momentum. 2 big shots from Merrilees down the line. Maybe he's a little bit rumbled since the call that he felt went against him there. But he is in a good position here, requiring just 2 points to level this up at 1 set apiece. But Merrilees is serving 6-7. Just what he wanted, following the timeout, sets up a set point, and that was a great shot.
Yeah, it's a good call then, Dave. I think what Alex did there, he really did break Kieran's rhythm in the last few rallies, and he almost did to Kieran what he'd been doing to him.
Well, a great pickup, and he's rewarded with the set. Merrilees hits it long. Lane wins 9-6. Game on.
Absolutely. I think Kieran should have got enough out of that second set to think that if he really attacks Alex, then he will still be in control of this match. But at the same time, Alex, obviously his confidence is building as he's gone through the match, and I think if he can hang on and absorb some of Kieran's pace and still try and influence what's actually happening from his side of the court, then he'll fancy his chances as well. I think it's a really nicely balanced match.
He seems to have found his range as well, Alex Lane. In the first set, he hit a few shots wide, he hit a few shots long. I mean, those were the points that Merrilies got in the first set, but he was leaving those shuttles in the second. They were just dropping in, and Lane was finding a lot of points that way. We are locked at 1 set all then. Alex Lane to serve. This time Kieran is correct with his decision to leave, and he gets the first point of the third. Lane attempting to take a little bit off when they were not quite getting it right.
Yeah, he was trying to hit that cross-court slice, which has actually been a good shot for him so far in the match, but just an error there.
Well, commentators curse. I was just saying that Lane's found his range, and he's hit 2 into the net already in the third set.
Yeah, difficult shot there, though. It was almost like he was running out of ideas of what net shots to play, and he tried to hold it a little bit and play a cross-court net shot. More tricky shot, higher error rate, and obviously that one did go in the net.
This time it's Merrilies who tries to take one off the smash, but doesn't quite get it right. Lane is off the mark. These net battles, they're real wars of attrition, aren't they? You say it's a case of running out of ideas, but sometimes it's just how patient you can be.
Absolutely. Kieran played a couple of really good spinning net shots again, but almost like Alex is like waiting for it now, and he's able to sort of get the shuttle away and keep himself in the point. Kieran then still trying to maintain the attack, and it's almost like Alex is starting to read what's happening a little bit more and actually deal with those attacks and win points.
Another fantastic rally. Lane goes to ground, but can't quite get the return.
That's a great shot from Merrilies there. His body shape was as if he was going to hit a straight smash, and then he just cut across the shuttle with a bit of reverse slice, taking all the pace out and getting a really good angle cross court.
4-2 in the third. Merrilies serves. Made it a little bit easy for Lane there from the first shot.
I think that's what Lane's got to do a little bit more. He's almost like giving Merrilies the net to hit to, because he's hitting the smashes from the back and then not really following up. That time he did. A bit more double style, and it proved positive for him.
Lovely shot at the net there from Merrilies. Not a great deal Alex Lane could do to return that.
Yeah, like we said at the start, if they can get to the net that early and take the shuttle as close to the net, it becomes really difficult to play anything other than just to lift straight up in the air. So it really is a big advantage for a singles player if they can come in and take that shuttle that early.
Merrilies leading 5-3 here in the third.
The singles net shot does tend to be a little bit higher on the player's side to try and get the shuttle to fall a little bit closer to the tape. A little bit too much air that side at that time from Alex, and just let Kieran in for the kill.
Yeah, plenty of room at the back of the court, and Merrilies wins the point 6-3. Make that 7-3. We've noticed a lot of variety in terms of the shots that have been played and the pace that the shuttle's been hit. Do you think that's something that the players are taking into consideration in this shorter form of the game?
I think so. I think it all seems a little bit fast and furious, and it's almost like the singles rallies are a little bit more like what you would normally see in a doubles game, whether that's because of the shorter game and people can go a little bit faster, or it's a product of, you know, the arena that we're playing in at the moment. I'm not too sure.
This time it was Merrilees that was a little bit high with the net shot, and Lane takes full advantage. He was remonstrating with the umpire there because he felt that the shuttle was long, but the umpire comes back with, "I'm backing my line judge." But Merrilees strikes straight back again, controlling the rally and sets up set point.
As you just said then, controlling the rally, he was really early at the net, took the shuttle really nice and early at the back of the court, and just completely had Alex Lane on a piece of string there, running exactly where he wanted him to go to.
Again, Merrilees in complete control for the last part of that set, takes it 9-4, and he just seemed to put the hammer down there and really take control.
Yeah, I think pace is the key there. I think if Merrilees keeps the pace that high in the next set, then it should be a comfortable victory.
So Merrilees now leads 2-1, 9-7, 6-9, 9-4. There have been a couple of moments in this game so far where the players have had a little bit of a chat with the referee, and they've dealt with it in different ways. It was interesting to see Lane call for the timeout just to compose himself and to break Kieran's rhythm, but each time Kieran's had a little bit of a problem, he's just responded by just going for it, just by being explosive and trying to take control.
Yeah, I think he plays better when he plays like that, so it almost like it fires him up ready for the next point, so he almost needs to capture some of that and not wait till he gets a dubious decision from one of the officials before he starts playing at the pace he needs to play at. Great pace at the start of the set, controls the point, gets the shuttle down. There's not much Alex can do other than just try and stay into the rally as long as he can to try and hope that Merrilees makes an error.
And here comes the power play for Merrilees. He will serve for 2 points here. Should Alex Lane win the point, it's only 1 for him. But the pink-tipped shuttlecock is in the hand of Kieran Merrilees, looking to accelerate away from his opponent here early in the fourth. But the shuttle is long. Merrilees thought it was good. Lane is off the hook. He's hit that one into the crowd. I wonder whether or not they want that back if they've got the space.
Well, after just one rally, then that shuttle's still be in pretty good condition, so maybe she'll get it signed afterwards, I don't know.
Into the net there from Lane, so Merrilees takes a 2-1 lead. Just to point out, that is Merrilees' power play taken now. Alex Lane still has one, but he can't take it in this set.
It's interesting, having spoken to some of the players after the first round of NBL games, then asking them about the pink shuttle, and they're saying that it does fly slightly differently, because I was questioning the choice of some of the shots from in some of the power play rallies, but I think it's a little bit more unusual for them to deal with, so that was the reason for some of it, and generally the rallies are much more attacking and fast anyway, so almost like trying to play that bit out of the equation.
This time Merrilees makes the correct decision to lead and sneaks back into the lead 3-2. Best of 5, remember, so a lot riding on this set. lovely pick-up again from Merrilies before finishing with that big smash.
I just feel that Alex Lane's attack hasn't really got the same potency.
4-2.
It has to be really well positioned to beat Kieran, and at the moment Kieran's just been able to suck up that attack, and then as soon as he gets the chance to attack, then the pace that he's able to impart on the shuttle is much more considerable than Alex.
Well, being this close to the action, we can see that Merrilies hits it noticeably harder than Lane.
It's also to do with the angle as well. The steeper the smash is, the harder it is to return. If the shuttle's coming through flatter, it's much more straightforward. I mean, Kieran's a taller player than Alex, so that does help as well. But the fact of getting up off the floor at the back of the court also increases the hitting point, the angle of the hitting point, and the potency of the smash as well.
Well, Merrilies apologises to Lane, but that was a completely different side of his game there, on the back foot for most of that rally, before finishing with a lovely drop shot.
I think he did that on purpose. I think it's almost like his confidence has increased, and the fact that he doesn't think that Lane can hit through him. So there's a few lifts there when he thought, do you know what, as long as the lift's deep enough, then it's not going to hurt me. And then when he got the chance, then he still finishes the point.
Once again, a lovely shot at the net, almost like a boxer dropping their gloves and almost saying to their opponent, come on, hit me, I can take it.
6-3.
Unfortunate for Alex, he hasn't got the attacking weapons to really hurt Kieran at the moment. Whether he's sort of, his pace has dropped a little bit, and he needs to somehow get back into the rallies and still be attacking.
This time Lane does win the point with the smash, and that was an important point too, to make it 4-6.
It was. From that backhand corner, he's hit the vast majority of his smashes straight, which Kieran's been able to get. That time a little bit more variation, played the cross court, and he actually got the point from it.
Again, a beautifully disguised shot, this time down the right-hand side from Merrilies, who now requires just 2 points for a debut NBL victory, 7-4 here.
Yeah, the big advantage is if you've got a good smash, it makes your drop shot far more deceptive as well, because people are backing off, waiting for the big one to come.
And the big one did come that time. Lane got there, but far too late, and another shuttle ends up into the crowd, and it's match point. Kieran Merrilies leads 8-4 here, and the slow clap is underway. And there's a point that wins him the match and pretty much sums up the entire encounter. Merrilies controls the rally, finishes in style and takes the victory.
Yeah, there was a brief part in the second set where Alex had a little bit more variation, and Kieran made a few unquestionable errors, which actually cost him the game. But as soon as Kieran played the rallies and the way that he wanted to play, then it was fairly comfortable, I think. You know, the scores and the actual performance from Alex was good, but I just think Kieran had just had a little bit too much on the day.
So Kieran Merrilies with a debut NBL victory over Alex Lane, 9-7, 6-9, 9-4, 9-4 in the fourth. It looked comfortable, but it was certainly a good encounter. Hopefully we'll get the chance to catch up with one of the players later on. But a nice way to get started, and we've got 4 more fantastic events to come.
Yeah, I think the crowd played their part in that game as well. Obviously, Kieran being the home team favourite, then there was a raucous support at times for Kieran in that game. It'll be interesting to see how that then affects the rest of Milton Keynes, because obviously the first match was, I'm sure they would have been disappointed with the 4-1 loss to Surrey. Obviously, they've lost the first match in this tie, so it's really important now that they get off to a start within this tie and get some points on the board.
Well, following their defeat to Surrey, they couldn't have asked for a more difficult match, really, coming up here to Nottingham. Interesting you mentioned the crowd. This is a beautiful venue for it as well. There's a lovely natural reverberation. All the footsteps on the court just echo around the hall here, and all of the claps, all of the cheers, everything just really builds a cauldron, a cacophony of noise. And hopefully the Nottingham supporters will keep this up throughout the rest of the evening and encourage both teams. Right then, men's singles down. UON lead 1-0. Next up, women's doubles. We've got Serena Mida and Carissa Turner for Nottingham taking on Milton Keynes' Jessica Fletcher, who came in as a last-minute replacement for Sophie Brown, and she is partnering Sophie Sankey. Doubles, completely different game, but this one's going to be just as exciting.
It is, and it would be really interesting to see, because we've got, you know, a mixture of youth and experience with the Nottingham pair, with Serena Mida being one of the young guns from Badminton England, Carissa Turner being one of the senior Welsh international players who's had considerable experience both as a singles and doubles player, competed well in the recent Commonwealth Games. So hopefully Carissa can steer Serena, and so that she deals with her first NBL experience. On the other side, we've got Sophie Sankey and Jess Fletcher, both experienced in terms of their junior play, on the fringes of the England setup. And I know Jess was down in Milton Keynes for some time training with the England squad. Sophie's had a number of injuries over the years, but has been a very successful junior player. So it's really interesting. It's going to be quite hard to call. I think the first few rallies in the first set might tell us quite a bit about the shape of this match to come.
Players out on court now. We're just doing the toss. Big blow for Sophie Brown to miss this one with a shoulder injury, but a huge opportunity for Jessica Fletcher to come in. The substitution made, of course, before the fixture this time, although last time we actually had a substitution for the first time during the match. But showing the importance of squad play here, it's not just an individual sport.
No, that's the interesting thing, isn't it? That, you know, we want these fixtures to take place so the crowd get a great experience of the NBL badminton. So it's great the fact that we can bring players on to finish the games, but also, as in with other team sports, then you know you need to have a little bit of depth in your squad, so that, you know, if players do get injured during the season, it's quite tough out there with the demands of the international player on the world and European circuit. So being able to draft players in is really important.
You mentioned Carissa Turner having a relatively successful Commonwealth Games earlier this year. How much do you think, for players like her, the actual big match experience, playing in front of crowds like this and even bigger, improves them not only as players individually, but improves them as players on the big stage?
It is important. Obviously, the more times you do something, then generally the better at it you get. I think it's more important for Serena in this match that Carissa's got a little bit more experience behind her, and that will help her adjust to the demands of playing matches like this in front of relatively big crowds.
So Serena Mida and Carissa Turner, the home pairing in their green jerseys with golden trim, facing off against Jessica Fletcher and Sophie Sankey from Milton Keynes, who really could do with getting the victory and getting their team back into this fixture. Their first match, of course, was at home against the Surrey Smashers. They had a sellout crowd of over 600 there. Sellout crowd of over 600 who were equally as vocal as this fantastic Nottingham crowd. But unfortunately, they couldn't pick up the victory for them.
These would be quite nervous times at the start of the game. And just Serena doing a few practice serves there just to try and get a feel for what's going to happen in the next few points.
Interesting for Serena as well, what with her being an indigenous native of Nottingham. Chance for her to play in front of a very vocal home crowd. And she gets her team off the mark. Seemed a pretty low-key shot to win a point there.
Yeah, she didn't look too pleased with it either. I mean, it was a great attacking defensive shot.
Backcourt smash there from Carissa Turner.
Yeah, she used her height well to get the shuttle down nice and steep again, as I said earlier, making the defensive shot much more difficult.
Another mistake from the MK pair and a nice early 3-0 lead for the home team. Off Turner's serve. Great start here from the Nottingham pair. Carissa Turner noticeably taller than the rest of the players on court. Do you think we're going to see her mainly at the back of the court?
I think ideally it looks like the MK pair have got a bit of a strategy to get Serena to the back of the court, although she seems to be dealing with it quite well at the moment. And is equally good coming in at the net as well. You've seen the last 2 points she's attacked and moved forwards and controlled the rally.
Yeah, she's been very positive in the early stages, and Mida and Turner leading 5-0 here. And Sankey leaving that, but it drops in 6-0. We've seen a lot of uncharacteristic leaves early on in this NBL fixture.
Yeah, I'm wondering if there's any breeze coming in from somewhere that it is unusual that so many line calls are going so wrong.
Well, it's the end that we're commentating from, so perhaps it's us that's having the influence, but 7-0 here to Mida and Turner. And finally, one does go long. And Fletcher and Sankey are off the mark. 1-7, Fletcher to serve. Well, the point eventually goes to the Nottingham pair. Turner getting lucky off the net, but that's the first time really we've seen the Milton Keynes pair in a rally.
Yeah, Sophie Sankey showed her racket skills then. Very difficult shot to get that one back.
But the first set goes to Nottingham, 9-1. Serena Mida and Carissa Turner have exploded out of the blocks, and Fletcher and Sankey, well, they need to find something from somewhere because they're not at the races at the moment.
Well, if Serena Mida was nervous, she did a good job of hiding it. She's played really positively. The Milton Keynes pair have started to target her a little bit, but she more than dealt with it. And I think it was clear that obviously Carissa and Serena wouldn't have played a great deal together. There was quite a lot of talking from Carissa in particular, sort of directing where her younger partner needs to go and in terms of what she was going to do as well, and that certainly helped.
Well, really, she's looked very composed. As you said, the Milton Keynes pair have been targeting her. However, she's dealt with absolutely everything so far. You wonder if they'll have to change their tactics moving forward.
I think they're going to have to do something. They need to have a good start in the second set, otherwise it's going to be a very difficult night for them.
So Turner to serve. Nottingham took the first set 9-1. And And a mistake at the net from Sankey means that Nottingham get off the mark first in the second. Little mistakes like that are really costing them.
It's always a danger when you smash cross court that it does leave that side of the court open if your partner's not expecting it, who's standing at the net.
Yes, a big gap for the first point for Milton Keynes. Good reflexes for the second, and they're ahead for the first time in this event. This time it's into the net from Mida. Turner wants the shuttle change, but a better start for MK here. They lead 3-1. Led that 4-1 in a rumble of discontent from the supporters, because Nottingham's first set composure has deserted them here. Milton Keynes have flown into a 5-1 lead and not really had to work for it.
That's exactly what I was just going to say, Dave, that they've not really done anything different. We said about what they might try and do after the first set, but they've just got the shuttle over, and unfortunately for the Nottingham pair, they've just gone and made a few uncharacteristic errors, and it certainly put them on the back foot in this set. I think they're just testing the shuttle there. I think the Nottingham girls wanted to change it. Under normal circumstances, both pairs have to agree to change the shuttle, but you can only really change it if there's something, there's a feather broken, or if the speed's not right.
So 2-6 this time. Mida gets the rub of the green off the net. It drops on the MK side. Hit into the net from the back of the court. 3-6 now. Serena Mida serving. Into the net there from Turner, so 7-3 now, but Serena seems to move really well across the court here.
Yeah, there was some really good attacking play there, nice and fast. But the problem is, if you're attacking Sophie Sankey, she's got the racket skills to deal with it and turn their defensive position into a winning attacking position.
And the winning attacking position has set up a set point here, 8-3, to level things at 1 apiece. And Turner hits it wide, so from 1-9 loss to a 9-3 win. What a bizarre match so far.
I wasn't expecting that second set there. I'm at a bit of a loss, really. There's just so many mistakes from the Milton Keynes pair in the first set, and that was replicated by the Nottingham pair in the second set. So who knows what's going to happen in the third set.
Well, as a man who does so much coaching yourself, you must look at that and think that is a coach's nightmare. The Nottingham pair performed so well in the first. They had the composure, they had the finesse, they had the shots, and then all of that good stuff just deserted them in the second.
I suppose that's the beauty of the shortened format, that that one set's gone, and the Milton Keynes girls starting from afresh in the second set and just went for it, and anything can happen.
It also shows that mistake-free badminton is essential here in the NBL. That was a soft one.
It was, but again, Mida just increased a little bit of pace there. She was a little bit earlier on the shuttle, turned it to force the error from Fletcher. And again, just the pace. And I think if Nottingham can revert back to that like they did in the first set, then they've got the skills to win.
Nice pick up from Sankey, but it was a bit high at the net. And Serena Mida finished to make it 3-0. Better control there from Jess Fletcher.
Yeah, the roles reversed again there. That the Milton Keynes pair were a little bit more aggressive in their defence. Look for the shuttle moving forwards, which leaves a relatively straightforward kill at the net.
It's amazing, despite 4 players being on court, sometimes gaps can just appear, can't they?
Very dangerous to try and hit the shuttle through Sophie Sankey, because her racket skills are so good that she can just like pick that shuttle off quite comfortably.
Great reflexes, even when the shuttle is absolutely flying at her. She's seen a lot of the action at the moment, Sankey. Do you think the Nottingham pair are targeting her, or is that just the way it's going?
It doesn't look like it's a conscious decision from Nottingham, but I just think that they're generally trying to get to the shuttle area and being a bit more aggressive. It just so happens that the smashes and doubles generally do go straight, because that brings the net player into the game a little bit more, and I think maybe if Sophie's lifting, and then the smash is going to come straight back at her.
Target just goes wide on the left-hand side and puts Nottingham in control here, 7-2.
That's a great cross-court smash from Jess Fletcher there, right across the hip area of Carissa Turner, making that's the hardest place to return a smash from.
A great serve. Left by Turner, but drops in, so 4-7 now. But Sankey snatches at that one, so it's set point to the Nottingham pair, 8-4.
That's the danger of having such good racket skills, and sometimes you go for something that's not quite there and make a few errors.
The net from Fletcher, so 9-1, 3-9, 9-4. The seesaw swings the other way again.
I think that was a little bit more conventional. The Nottingham pair certainly increased the pace a little bit, and were attacking a little bit more, looking for opportunities around the net. So if you're going to play doubles like that, then generally that's a successful formula to use. So
certainly more successful for the Nottingham pair then. Both teams have had a gimme, really, haven't they?
They have, and as you mentioned before, then error-free badminton in this format is really, really important. So if you're giving your opponents points as well as making a few errors yourself, then it becomes very difficult to win.
So Turner to serve with it back to us in the 4th game.
Milton Keynes have come out the blocks there with a little bit more attacking play there, and again, as we said before, that really does pay dividends if you can have that level of attack and be looking for the points at the net.
Milton Keynes have called their time out here.
I'm not sure that's whether that Martin Lewis is the Pink Panther. I'm not too sure, Martin being the head coach of Nottingham.
Not sure if you can hear this watching at home, but the laughter in the crowd is because the Pink Panther theme has just been played for the timeout. Interesting time to call the timeout right at the beginning of the 4th, having just won a point very convincingly.
Yeah, again, I'm not sure of the reasons behind that decision, but maybe they would have done it at the end of the 2nd set. So,
well, that's Milton Keynes' timeout called. 1-0 early in the 4th and trail by 2-1 overall. Till then, level Leveling things up at 1-1, and she wants to call for the power play as well.
In the previous round of matches, the power play shuttle in the doubles was a bit of a problem with fairly loose, low serving, so it'll be interesting to see what Mida does with this one.
Just long, and the point goes to Milton Keynes. So that is 2 power plays called, 2 power plays lost so far this evening.
It's interesting actually, because obviously the shuttles that we play with, the conventional shuttles, we do have different speeds of those, and that speed is chosen based on the atmospheric conditions and things like that. So I'm not sure whether the power play shuttles are in particular speeds, or because that shuttle seemed to fly quite a long way out the back of the court there, suggesting it was quite fast.
That is something I'll take to management and I'll get back to you on. Well, including the power play, that is 3 shuttles that have been hit long. Apologies, that one was actually in, that was on the baseline, but prior to that there were 2 that had been hit long, but that has dropped just in, leveling things up at 3-all. And all of a sudden, here comes Carissa Turner smashing down the middle, and Nottingham creep into the lead, 4-3.
The key thing is actually following up the smash. The first smash was a good one, but the defence was reasonable, but the fact that Carissa came forwards and took the next one in mid-court and then was there at the net as well, should the next one come back, then it really does put a lot of pressure on the defensive pair.
That one does go long, so 4-all, but 3 of Milton Keynes' points in this set have come from the shuttle being hit long by the Nottingham pair. Mida there with the left-handed smash. Interesting, the Nottingham pair are a right-handed, left-handed combo. Is that of any advantage or disadvantage, really?
It can be. I think it's more if pairs have played together and you know which particular direction they're going to move out from the net to. It can be an advantage, but generally, because the actual space is a lot smaller, than the space that they have to cover is smaller, then you can get around it pretty much.
Wide there from Turner, but the point before that, there was great vision from Sophie Sankey to spot the gap to her left and win the point. MK 6-5 up here, 7-5. This event now seems to have settled into more of a rhythm, doesn't it? More of a conventional doubles match.
Yeah, some nice tight serving from Jess Fletcher has enabled them to control the rallies a little bit more.
Nicely disguised one there from Fletcher. Looked as though she was going to hit it away to her right, but just made the adjustment and floated it down the line to take it.
Just reverse slash, added a bit of reverse slash, was cutting across the shuttle at the last minute, changing the direction.
Into the net, so 7-all now in this must-win game for the MK pair if they're to force a breaker. And that is a mistake from Turner. You were just saying how the serving has been tight. So here it is. Game point to level it up. Pressure, what pressure!
It was a nice idea from Jess Fletcher there. There was a bit of space if she could have got a little bit more angle on that shot, but unfortunately it was a bit loose, enabling a kill.
So match point. In fact, the set will be decided whatever happens here, as it's 8-all. You only need to win by 1. Beautifully done there from Fletcher. Across the court, 9-8, and we are going to a breaker.
Yeah, it would have been easy to panic there and start hitting smashes just because the shuttle kept coming back, but she retained her composure, saw a bit of a gap across court and managed to find it.
Yep, Serena there at full stretch with her left hand, but couldn't quite get there. And we are going to a breaker again. If you're joining us for the first time, these are best of 5, first to 9 matches, but the breaker is the first to 5 points. Also worth noting that Milton Keynes still have their power play as well. Could that prove to be decisive? Sankey to serve, first to 5 takes it all. Great start there again, Fletcher picking up where she left off. And this time it's Nottingham who call for their timeout.
Yeah, another great angle from Jess Fletcher. So obviously, as you said, taking where she left off, then she saw the space and hit a really decent smash onto Mida's forehand. Generally, players want to defend on the backhand side, so I think that sort of partly answers the question about whether it's an advantage or disadvantage having a left and a right, because normally that smash would have gone straight onto a backhand and potential for a drive up the line would have been there. But the fact that it went onto a forehand makes it a lot more of a difficult shot to hit.
So the end of the timeout and the end of the match. All smiles for Carissa Turner, but her team are behind here. And amidst all of that, the power play had been called. Turner hits another shuttle long, so it's 3-0, game over, because if there's a 3-point gap in the first to 5, then the match is over. And just like that, out of nowhere, Milton Keynes have won this game, Neil.
Interesting outcome. I mean, that's the perfect time to take your power play. You know, there was some discussion before the NBL started about when would be the best time to take the power play, and that's obviously proved to be very successful for Milton Keynes. It'll be interesting to see whether the Sarah Sankey, the head coach, actually advised them to do that then, or whether that was the plan before they started, but it certainly worked for them.
Well, let's just recap the score. So Fletcher and Sankey of Milton Keynes have beaten Serena Mida and Carissa Turner of Nottingham 1-9, 9-3, 4-9, 9-8, 3-0 in the breaker. Well, after the first set, there was absolutely no way that MK were winning that match.
No, all credit to them. They've hung in there, and it's been a mixture of some inspired play and some errors, and we pretty much had everything in that game. That ended in a result that's a great one for Milton Keynes and keeps them in the tie.
Well, that is what the NBL is all about. Expect the unexpected. And that certainly was an absolutely great turnaround from Fletcher and Sankey. For a lot of the time, it was Sankey that was doing a lot of the work, but Fletcher really turned up in the latter stages there. Yeah,
her attacking play, and in particular those 2 cross-court smashes onto Mida's forehand, sort of got points at key times then. And we know that Sophie Sankey's racket skills and her defence is very strong, so you can see how they've won the game, but I think Nottingham will be quite disappointed that they've let that one slip.
Yeah, as for Turner and Mida, they'll be wondering how that got away from them.
Again, errors at some key times, a couple of serves in the net, as we mentioned, and the power point shot. The shuttle seems to be flying quite quickly, so you've always got to be careful. If you're playing towards the back of the court, there's that increased risk that it might fly out the back, and as was proved in the final rally.
So we're locked at 1 apiece then, 1 match apiece. Kieran Merrilee's beaten Alex Lane in the men's singles in the first event of the evening, and Fletcher and Sankey beating Mida and Turner in the women's doubles. Next up, it's time for mixed doubles. The players just making their way onto court now. Nottingham's Chris Adcock and Chloe McGee taking on Milton Keynes' Toby Penty and Jess Pugh. Event number 3, mixed doubles. We've had men's singles, women's doubles so far, and this is a completely different kettle of fish again.
It certainly is. I mean, Adcock and McGee are probably the strongest pair, mixed doubles pair in the whole of the NBL, so Penty and Pugh have got it all up against them.
So the mixed doubles players on court now. We were just saying, Neil, a completely different kettle of fish again. We've got Chris Adcock, Chloe McGee here for Nottingham against Toby Penty and Jess Pugh of Milton Keynes. Another the unexpected, I suppose.
Well, this will be a stretch too far, I think. I mean, Chris Adcock is currently number 5 in the world at mixed doubles with his wife Gabby, who plays for Surrey Smashers, I believe. Chloe McGee's, you know, a top mixed player in her own right. She plays with her brother Sam, and it's going to be a formidable pair to beat. On the other side, we've got Jess Pugh, who's one of the up-and-coming English players and won the Hungarian Open Senior Mixed Doubles event at the weekend. So absolutely fantastic result as they're still juniors. And Toby Penty, who's one of our top singles players, sort of into the mixed arena tonight. I'm not sure how good his mixed is, but he certainly would have played quite a lot of mixed and level doubles during his junior career. So it's not like he's never played the event before, but a really big ask to take on number 5 in the world.
Absolutely. Toby Penty coming in for Ben Lane tonight, following the mixed doubles defeat on the opening fixture against the Surrey Smashers. You say it's a big ask, but you know, we've already seen this evening that from nowhere a few points can go a few strange ways, that all of a sudden we've got a real contest on our hands.
True, absolutely. I mean, Jess will be confident after her win at the weekend, as we said. The question will be whether Toby can play mixed well enough to deal with, you know, the way that Chris and Chloe are going to play, and I think that will be the key to this. I think Jess will be more than capable of living around the net area. It just depends whether Toby can deal with the pace of Chris.
It certainly remains to be seen. Chris Adcock, of course, took home some rather impressive silverware in Glasgow this year. I'm sure he'll still be riding high off that success too.
Absolutely. A couple of weeks ago they reached the final of the French Open, which is a World Super Series event, the sort of the highest level event in the world on the world circuit, losing to in the final in a good performance for the whole tournament. And they reached the semi-finals with the Bitburger Open, in Germany last weekend as well. So he's obviously in some decent form and hoping to bring it to the NBL.
He certainly will, in front of this Nottingham crowd. Still very vocal. Pugh will serve first for Milton Keynes. The match is underway. I'm not sure they realise inside the announcer's box because the music's still playing. But Adcock and McGee take the first point. Chloe to serve. Into the net from Adcock to level things up. Penty to serve. And takes no prisoners with that one. There was looked to be a slight miss-hit on the lift, and that was easy pickings for the MK player.
Obviously on paper then the Nottingham pair should win this, so there's absolutely nothing to lose for the MK pair. They can just go for it and see how they get on.
Well, great defensive work from the MK pair there. First, a big reach down to the right-hand side for Penty, then a great reflex pickup from Pugh.
I suppose the other side to it is obviously the MK pair have got nothing to lose, but there's an awful lot of expectation on the Nottingham pair to win, so it depends how they deal with that. I mean, both very experienced players, so it shouldn't be an issue, but certainly the MK pair rising to the challenge so far.
Absolutely, a 4-1 lead here. Jess Pugh looking very composed. Still Penty serving. But snatched at that one. And the point goes to Nottingham. 2-4. Really interesting start here in the mixed doubles. Just into the net from Penty. The mistake costing his team the point, but the rally's quite evenly balanced in the early stages.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, the typical tactic is to try and hit down and attack the girl a little bit. But obviously with the level of play that Jess is able to produce, then she's more than dealing with that at the moment, and it's just a case of the rest of the court that they can keep a little bit of pressure on. And clearly, the more that Toby can hit down, the better, because they've pretty much won every point that he's been attacking.
Yes, Penty will have been delighted that he'll have had the chance to unleash a few smashes from mid-court. But this time it's Pugh with the smash, and 7-4. This supposedly inexperienced MK pair is certainly doing the business at the moment. 7-4 they lead.
Yeah, they're playing without fear, aren't they? They're just seeing the shuttle and attacking it and controlling rallies. See the class of the Nottingham pair may well tell, and if they can get themselves back into this set, then they've got a very good chance still.
Cross court from Penty there. 8-5. This is game point, and you feel as though if they're going to have any chance in this match, they're going to have to win this set.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it was great net play from Jess Pugh there, which forced the short lift. We mentioned it in the singles, but the same rules still apply in the doubles. And when Toby's got that smash to hit, found a great angle.
And Jess Pugh does the business, splits the pair, takes the set point. 9-5. What a first set performance from the away pair.
Well, that'll give them loads of confidence for the rest of the match now. You can see big smiles on their faces. I think they were expecting that or they were not expecting that, and the Nottingham pair would have been fully expecting to cruise through this match. So it'll be an interesting situation to see how the Nottingham pair deal with it.
Well, so far they seem to have managed the Nottingham pair well. It's been the Nottingham pair that have left a few lifts short and allowed Penty to unleash. Jess Pugh has been absolute dynamite round the net, and so far so good for them. Once again, Pugh controlling the net. There's no stopping her at the moment.
No, she's definitely the difference in the match so far. I mean, Toby's being a battering ram at the back of the court and needs to keep doing that, enabling Jess to control the net. But a great shot from Chloe McGee there, really good angle. Looked like she's going to play the straight net shot. Jess Pugh had started to commit to it and then just pulled it across court.
Stake from Pugh. I think the longer this match goes on, the longer that Chloe McGee is really going to want to stamp her authority on the net. This time it's Penty who's a little bit short at the net, and now it's Adcock and McGee who lead 3-1 in the second.
Good angles hit then, good recovery, great cross-court block from Jess Pugh there. And again, as soon as the shot's lifted up to Toby at the back of the court, then he's getting some good angle here. A little bit of slice on that to bring it down a bit more steeply, and wins the point. Great stuff from Penty there. He's hitting the shuttle down well, and as we mentioned in the ladies' doubles, he's following up into the mid-court and playing with really good pace and attacking.
McGee seemed to duck under that. Did she expect Adcock to return it? But the Nottingham pair strike right back. This time it's Adcock that finds the space. The shuttle was live, but you looked as though you wanted to answer that one. Was McGee expecting Adcock to return the shuttle there?
I think she was, yeah. She was like moving forwards, and again the role of the lady in mixed doubles is to sort of play nice and flat and try and get to the net as quickly as possible. So she certainly would have been looking to have that covered behind her.
A shuttle on cue awfully quickly there from McGee. She couldn't quite get there in time, so 5-3. The Nottingham pair lead with Adcock to serve into the net. That's an error. 4-5, and you can't really afford freebies in this competition,
very
can you?
little margin for error.
That's out from Pew, but interesting. The Milton Keynes player are dealing so well with Adcock's power that he's trying to change it up now with the drop shots instead.
Yeah, I think he needs to. I mean, the defence for the Milton Keynes pair has been really solid so far. So, as we saw in the singles, then it's no good just playing the same way all the time. You need to think about what other things you can do to try and get the influence.
Penty into the net, and a handy three-point lead here now. 7-4 as Nottingham look to get back into this one. They trail by one set, of course. McGee to serve.
I think the danger for the MK pair is if they play everything too hard and flat through the mid-court, then Chris can actually turn the shuttle and actually control the rallies. They're actually doing far better when they're playing a little bit softer to the net or bigger high lifts to the back, which enables them to control what's actually happening as a result of that.
Cross court from Penty there. McGee hits into the net. 6-7. Adcock onto that one like lightning though. And sets up set point.
Yeah, it's a tough ask when someone like Chris is left foot is right on the service line. There's very little margin for error with the serve, so anything slightly loose is killed.
That one's on the line. It's called in by the line judge, and here comes the power play. So this is effectively set point.
MK Badminton.
2 points on offer, of course, for the power play, and this would be incredible could the MK pair capture the second set here. And it's wide from Adcock. So from being set point down, they end up taking it 9-8, and all of a sudden they're 2-0 ahead here, Neil.
Some great PowerPoint decisions from MK Badminton so far tonight. Perfect timing to take it. Really nice tight serve from Jess Pugh. Good control of the rally, and then the error came. So all credit to Milton Keynes.
Certainly is. I mean, last time we commentated on an NBL fixture, the power play was a bit of a disaster zone, really. No one really knew what to expect. But MK have obviously learned from their first fixture, because as you said, they've used their power plays fantastically well. They used it to win the match in the women's doubles, and there Penty and Pugh used it when they were set point down to claim the victory 9-8. And no matter what happens now in this match, this has been a fantastic performance from the away pairing.
The question now, will they really believe that they can actually win? They're probably in a position where they didn't expect, so can they actually get it over the line? That's great stuff from Toby there. Really looking for that opportunity at the net. Normally you'd expect to see Jess killing those, but you know, with someone as intimidating as Toby at the net, then he really committed himself to that and got a good winner.
Great smash down the line. Well, a single specialist by trade. You wonder whether or not after this he'll be wanting to play a little bit more mixed.
Well, I think there's a new career opening up for him here if he's savvy with it.
Well, we hear the Pink Panthers, so this must be a timeout. Nottingham here, backs against the ropes. Need a good talking to from Martin Lewis, the coach. I wonder what he's saying to them out there right now.
I'd imagine it'd be like not panicking really. If they play their game and the way that we know that Chloe and Chris can play, then this should be fairly straightforward. But at the moment, it looks like the MK pair are really enjoying themselves. They're just playing without fear, and just if it's up there, they're hammering it, and they're playing nice and tight around the net. So it's going to be a tough ask for the Nottingham pair to get back in.
Bit of fancy footwork there from Chris Adcock to get out of the way. The service called out, so we're level 2-all. Real mistake at the net there from Pugh, makes it 3-2. We've talked about must-win sets a few times already this evening. This really is a must-win set for the Nottingham pair, because not only will they lose the match, but they'll go 2-1 down in the fixture as Pugh finds the net again.
The last two rallies have been quite hard and flat during, within the mid-court, and as I said earlier, then the danger is if Milton Keynes get involved in those sort of rallies, then there's only going to be one winner.
Mistakes started to creep in for Milton Keynes as Adcock and McGee take a 5-2 lead. The last 3 points being hit into the net from the MK pair make that 4 points, and all of a sudden the pressure's starting to build.
Yeah, that was a clever serve from Chris Adcock though. Most of the serves have been around the centre of the court, but he just changed the angle on that then and forced the error from Jess.
Well, 5 in a row now into the net from the Milton Keynes pair. You talked about composure is what the Nottingham pair need. Well, it's what the MK pair need at the moment, and Penty strikes back.
3-7.
It's a lovely tight serve from Jess Pugh there. It might have looked like it was going a little bit short, and that's a tactic that's used sometimes if players are actually jumping and attacking the serve, just to pull it in a little bit shorter. And it can force errors because there's such short distances. Then if you're going to attack the serve, then you have to commit to it early.
Long from Penty, so set point to Nottingham. Into the net, and the set goes to Nottingham. Game on here, 1-2. Now, you spoke about belief, and you spoke about whether the MK pair really believed that they could win this. That is going to be tested now more than ever going into this 4th.
It is. They were all smiles after the first 2 sets, but it looks a little bit more serious now from the MK pair. I think they're in touching distance of actually having a really significant victory here, but certainly the Nottingham pair actually got themselves in a little bit more of the form that you'd expect from them. And I think they're looking good to, if they can get a decent start to this set, then they're going to be a hard force to stop.
Well, we spoke about gimmies in the women's doubles because there were so many errors, lots and lots of errors there from the MK pair, should I say. 5 or 6 points hit into the net. You can't afford to make mistakes like that against players of these calibre. So 1-2, the Nottingham pair trail, and they'll serve first in the 4th.
I mean, yes, there were mistakes from the MK pair, but I just think that Chris has stepped up into the mid-court a little bit more. He's hitting it with a little bit more pace, which is forcing a few of these errors, just like he did in that first rally then. That was unlucky from Penty there. He was there to go for, just didn't quite make it. It was a relatively tight net shot, so it was a tough ask, but if they're going to win this match, they've got to take those.
Nicely done here from Adcock. Spotted Penty at the back of the court. There was plenty of room at the front. Played it short with precision, and all of a sudden Nottingham looking like a different team here. They lead 3-0 in the 4th.
Bit of a loose serve there from Chloe McGee, and just breaks that cycle of points.
time. Adcock successful with the smash. Huge left hand down the line. Not much that Pugh could do about that one.
Yeah, if they are going to lift to Chris, they've got to make sure that that lift goes right onto the back line, otherwise that will be the outcome.
But Penty comes straight back with a smash of his own.
I mentioned earlier about smashing it into the right hip area. As we said, that players generally want to defend on the backhand, so to try and tuck people up into that little space is a good place to smash to.
Well, from 3-0 down to 4-all, all of a sudden the momentum seems to have seesawed again.
It's almost like Toby has taken some of the pace off the next, the shots that Chris has been playing with pace.
He's caught Chris out with a serve there, isn't he?
Yeah, it's a great serve. But they just don't want to get drawn into that flat driving game because the doubles players are generally better at it than singles players.
McGee getting a bit of luck off the net, bounced up and caught Pugh by surprise. Not a lot the Milton Keynes player could do about that, so 5-all. Really evenly poised here in the fourth. Penty again, cross court, targeting McGee. She couldn't get her in time, 6-4. Make that 6-all. The team's trading points here as we close in on the business end of this fourth set. If Nottingham take it, we're going to a breaker for the second event in a row. But if Milton Keynes can close it out, this will be a fantastic win for the pair. And they take the lead 7-6, just 2 points required.
I bet they wish they had another power play that they could close the game out.
Bit of confusion there. That's the psychology of this game, isn't it? It was a straightforward return. No one knew who was going for it. In the end, neither of them did, and 7-all is the score. This time, it's Milton Keynes that get the luck off the net. They do say it levels itself out. Now, this is match point. 8-7, Pugh and Penty lead. But what great composure from the Nottingham pair. Beautiful shot to keep them in the match. What a game this is.
I'm not quite sure how Chris actually managed that, but again, just showing his class when it absolutely matters. He's pulled it out of the bag.
Stunning shot across the net to make it 8-all. Still match point. Nottingham need this to stay in the tie. But Jess Pugh's done it! At the net, and no more than her personal performance deserves. Milton Keynes have beaten Nottingham in the mixed doubles 9-5, 9-8, 4-9, 9-8. What a performance from MK.
Well, it just goes to show what I know about mixed doubles then, clearly. It was absolutely odds on that Adcock and McGee would win that game. Penty and Pugh have played absolutely fantastic. They've played with no fear. Jess Pugh has really shown her class there and has controlled that game. When the shuttle's been up in the air, Penty's just hammered everything and he's been a battering ram and he's been really, really effective.
Well, Penty has come in as a replacement, and I tell you what, he'll want to keep his place because, well, he looked like a mixed doubles natural.
He did. You wouldn't know that he was a singles player from that performance. Tactically he was sound, technically he was playing the shuttles the right way, and absolutely brilliant performance.
Certainly was. Just to confirm, in the mixed doubles, Chris Adcock and Chloe McGee of Notts have been beaten by Toby Penty and Jess Pugh of Milton Keynes 9-5, 9-8, 4-9, 9-8, and Milton Keynes have taken a 2-1 lead in the tie. We've got an absolute treat for you now. We're joined in the commentary box by Kieran Merrilies. Well, we certainly will be when he gets his equipment on. Can you hear us, Kieran?
Yeah.
Turn the microphone around.
Yes.
There it is. So, a debut victory in the NBL. How was it out there? Great crowd, great venue, and a great performance from yourself.
No, yeah, it was a good experience. I was quite nervous before I went into the match, but I think it was quite a good game. Alex played really well, but I was just happy to win.
Yeah, it certainly was a good game. I mean, we enjoyed it from here. This is probably as close as we've ever been there. Well, not as close as you've ever been, Neil, because you've played the sport to a pretty high level, but we're really close here. It was interesting, a couple of times throughout the match, there was some discussions between yourself and the match official. They really seemed to spur you on at key moments.
Yeah, well, it happens in a lot of the games. Sometimes you get decisions you don't like, but luckily I used that to my advantage and started playing a bit better.
Absolutely. So how have the rule changes affected, well, firstly your preparation, but also when you're actually out on the court and the matches are underway, what changes when you're face-to-face with your opponent in this 9-point format?
Well, I think it definitely favours underdog. So it's quite tense when you're playing. I think the game becomes quite fast and frantic. I don't think you'll see as much skillful play, but you'll see a lot of fast and aggressive badminton.
Well, you say it favours the underdog. We've just seen that in the mixed doubles, Penty and Pugh. Admittedly, it's a defeat for your team, but what an incredible performance by the MK pair.
Yeah, I think everyone in the hall's pretty shocked by that result, but as said, it's up to 9. Anything can happen. The MK team used their power play really well, so we saw how that can come into effect to win that the third set. So yeah, hopefully we can come back now and get this women's singles and men's doubles.
Yeah, women's singles up next. You mentioned the power play and how well MK have used it, and myself and Neil were at the last round where Birmingham played Derby down in Birmingham, and the power plays there, well, they can only really be described as a disaster, can't they, Neil?
Well, it was almost like they didn't really know what to do with them, and there was some poor serving and some bad decisions, but it looks like people have had to think about actually when the best time to play these things are, and almost like saving it for particular occasions.
Well, that was what I was going to move on to, Kieran. Do you think moving forward the players here in this Nottingham team will learn from this experience against Milton Keynes tonight and improve at this NBL format as the rounds progress?
Yeah, I think we will. As you can see, Milton Keynes, they played in the first Monday night, and I think it looks like they've learned a lot from that match, and I think the same will come for us. I think I'm sure we'll have a debrief after the match, and going into next month's match, I think we've learned quite a lot. Yeah.
So one of the things we talked about before your match was the fact that you and Alex know each other well from all your training in Milton Keynes. Does that mean you've got the bragging rights now until you guys play next?
So I think he's going to buy dinner tonight. That's the deal.
He's going to buy dinner tonight. Do you know what? We should maybe join them, see if we can get him to get the drinks in at the same time. So the next match is the women's singles. Kieran, you're going to join us for this one, right?
Yeah.
Fantastic news. The match officials are just being welcomed onto court now. Just a recap of what we've had so far. Kieran, who's with us, played in the men's singles against Alex Lane at first. He won in 4, 9-7, 6-9, 9-4, 9-4. Next up was the women's doubles. Serena Mida and Carissa Turner of Nottingham were defeated by Jess Fletcher and Sophie Sankey in a fantastic 5-setter, 1-9, 9-3, 4-9, 9-8, and then 3-0 in the breaker. And then we've just had an incredible performance from Toby Penty and Jess Pugh from Milton Keynes, beating Notts, Chris Adcock and Chloe McGee, 9-5, 9-8, 4-9, 9-8. Next up, it's the women's singles, so the fourth of 5 fixtures, Neil, and an absolute cracker again.
This should be an interesting game. Liz Cann is one of our best singles players over the last number of years. Isn't quite training as much as she used to. She's certainly involved in a lot of coaching at the moment down in Milton Keynes. Playing against Olga, who's regularly competing on the circuit, so money would favour the Nottingham player here, but as Kieran quite rightly said, anything can happen, and we'll see how Liz starts against Olga.
Kieran, I know it's going to be difficult for you, but we're going to ask you to be as neutral as possible. In terms of your match being first up, have you had a chance to speak to any of the players to say, oh, it's like this, or has it just been sort of every player for themselves, really?
No, I think we've had a few discussions. A lot of the players are aware that it's quite a nervy experience, but I mean, both players here played at a very high level, played in Liz has medalled at Commonwealth Games, Olga's played in Olympic Games, so I'm sure they're very used to this sort of pressure.
I'm just going to ask you, what's the hall like to play in? Because there was, I think in the set that you lost, there was you left quite a few on the sidelines, and we're just wondering whether there was any sort of like drift in the air, or... Yeah,
well, it's like you can see around, it's a cream hall, so sometimes the shuttle can get lost and it's quite hard to find your bearings. So I think that's also why there hasn't been so much, well, in my singles there wasn't so much four corners play. It was more just fast, flat, because it was hard to judge where you were hitting the shuttle in the court and where you were on the court.
Yeah, I'd mentioned sort of during commentary that it was almost like a double style of play that you were trying to. That wasn't a tactical decision. It was more to play the environment.
Yeah. Well, I think I've been playing in quite a lot of big arenas recently, so it's good to see how we can all adapt to these sort of halls. I think that sort of style actually suits Alex quite well in my game. He's quite good at that sort of style, whereas I'm more used to playing bigger court, knocking it about a bit more. But I think this game, both girls are very fit, very fast athletes, so I think you'll see a very high-paced match here.
It'll be interesting to see as the rounds develop. You mentioned it's a cream hall and quite difficult to pick up the shuttle. It'll be interesting to see if teams do actually manage to get a genuine home court advantage. We were in Birmingham last time, and the arena there was very dark, and I'd imagine there was no difficulty picking up the shuttle whatsoever. But looking around, you mentioned the fact that it's cream walls. It's also very light inside the arena, and whether or not as the rounds go on you can use that to your advantage.
Yeah, well, I hope going forward we can. I think other teams will probably have heard from the other players here what it's like and what we can expect. But yeah, I think it's a very attacking based hall.
So counter serve first, and we are underway in this women's singles. Straight away from that first rally, this match seems to be taking the same shape, a lot of variety. A lot of different angles, and the first point going to Nottingham.
Some really big high serving from Olga there, and what that does is it forces Liz right to the back of the court, and she's hitting those attacking shots, but obviously there's big spaces at the net which Olga's managed to exploit so far.
Great start from Olga. She does hold a 4-1 lead in terms of her matches against Liz. Liz's last win came way back in 2008. Great start, she leads 4-0 here. That high serving tactic really seems to be paying dividends early on.
Yeah, it looks like Olga's trying to adopt a counter-attacking style straight away, and it seems to be working very well at the moment.
You mentioned in your game, Kieran, that there's a really big advantage to be had when you're taking the net really early with nice amounts of spin on it, because and Olga seems to be doing that as well.
Yeah, I think especially in this hall, it's a good tactic to adopt, getting to that net early and trying to spin it.
Short-lived there. Olga dropping it short. And in the space, making it 5-1, persisting again with that high serve.
good by Liz there, taking advantage of the net area, coming very early and playing it flat into the corner, sending Olga the wrong way.
Yeah, it was really nice early preparation. It looked like she was going to play a short shot back to the net, but then as soon as Olga started to move, it just meant that she could just push it past her.
She leads 7-2, which is a similar lead to what you had in the first set of your game here. And then, well, I think the comments made in the commentary, not that I could possibly pass a judgment on that, were that you seem to try and finish it off in style. Once you got to that stage, well, similar to what Olga's done there, actually, do you kind of almost switch off because you think, I've got a 5-point lead here and I only need 9?
I wouldn't say so. It's still quite tense at that stage because you know any error you make, you're giving quick points away, and the score line is still quite close. You're only 4-point gap. People can come back very quickly. So, but yeah, I would say I was quite guilty of trying to finish it off too quickly.
Well, set point here, 8-3. And this time can smash this to full effect. And she wins the point 4-8. Still a long way back, still set point. Great rally and eventually into the net from Olga Konon. Great stuff from both players there.
Yeah, Liz managed to hang on into the rally there, and it looked for all intents and purposes that Olga was going to win that. But she just dropped her concentration in the last moment and played smash into the net.
The smash this time wide. Elizabeth Khan holding on in there in this first.
Well, Liz is really experienced and will come across this on numerous occasions during her career, so if anyone can get herself back into the match, then it'll be Liz.
Well, the old commentator's curse, there it is. Following some great composure to hang on in there, Liz Khan finds the net, and the first set goes to Olga Konon, 9-6. Do you know what, Kieran? We might call that the Merrilees effect, when you go 7-2 up and then switch off and let your opponent back in. But some great stuff from Olga there to take the first set.
Yeah, no, I think Olga's playing really well. Before the match, she actually did have some concerns with the floor, as she's had a lot of knee injuries in the past. So I think that was some of the comments she was making before. She wasn't sure how she'd be able to, maybe she'd be able to keep the same speed that she's been used to recently after a long time out of injury. But she looks like she's dealing with it quite well at the moment.
Do you think that's one of the reasons she might be using the high serve then, so at least she knows there's going to be some sort of consistency with the return?
I think at the moment the high serve's working well, so she'll persist with it, because Liz seems to be attacking a lot off it, and she seems to be countering it very well, so I think she'll keep going with that tactic.
Great start there from Liz Khan, controlling the net. And winning the first point of the second set.
Olga's got a very fluid overhead hitting style, so that makes it really deceptive because she can hit the shuttle so hard, but at the same time, with the same action, just take all the pace out of it and win the point like that.
Yes, so difficult to read, but she makes the mistake there, serves in to the net and hands the initiative back to Khan. 2-1 early in the second. Both of these players, of course, looking for their first victory in the NBL. Khan lost 3-0 on match night 1. As you mentioned, though, she's had quite the pedigree as a player, a 5-time national champion, Liz Khan. Finds the net there, and it'll be Coleman to serve. 2-3 in the second. Extra bit of zip on that one from Khan, but the shuttle goes wide, 3-all.
Liz is sort of playing a very fast attacking game here, so even her high clears are really pumped into the corners to try and reduce the amount of time that Olga's got to get behind the shuttle.
Lovely touch there from Liz. She seemed to read that attack very well.
That's where the experience comes in. You mentioned that she's had a noticeable change of tactics in terms of giving it a little bit extra, but then she took some off. Did a beautiful touch at the net to win the point. Now she has a 3-point lead. 6-3 to Elizabeth Khan in the second.
Obviously the way Liz is playing is very high energy stuff, so the big question will be, can she sustain it over a prolonged period of time, which she'll need to win the match.
That touch off the net did for Elizabeth Khan there. Not much she could do with the return.